Hello, Jakob here, and today I want to make a short video on sound holes or sound ports. And the reason for this is that I have this baritone ukulele here, and I built it in a kind of a rush for a guitar show, and I didn't really think about the sound port design or like the size of the sound port. And yeah, as you can see, it's quite small, especially compared to my concert size ukuleles. You can see this one has a much smaller body, but the sound hole is much bigger. And what I found is that the sound port has like pretty big impact on the sound of the whole guitar. Yeah, on this I already had it a little bit smaller, and I made it bigger, and it opened up the sound quite a bit. So yeah, I want to do the same on the baritone and kind of make a comparison before and after, and see how the sound changes, and talk a little bit about why it might change or why it will change, and yeah, what's the impact of the size of the sound port, because it's not really often talked about. And I wanted to do a video that's a little bit longer on sound ports, but I'm gonna keep that for later, where I really explain what's going on. But in short, the sound port is basically there to make the guitar breathe. So when the guitar is vibrating, and it makes the top move, so you can't really see it, but the top is moving like up and down in different directions, and that changes the pressure inside the body cavity. And you need a valve, a kind of hole, to relieve the pressure, and the sound port is there basically for that. So it's a pressure relief, and the size of the sound port determines how fast this exchange of air is happening, so how fast the air moves in and out of the sound port. And the TLDR of sound port size is, the smaller you make it, the longer it takes for the air to go in and out of the sound hole. So imagine it's like water that needs to flow in and back out, and if you make the sound port smaller, it takes longer for this exchange to happen. And if you open it up, it moves faster, and therefore the air cavity resonance, also called Helmholtz resonance, gets higher. And if you make it smaller, it gets lower. Okay, to showcase the effect of the Helmholtz resonance, imagine this is your body of the guitar or ukulele, and yeah, I fill it up with water, so it's halfway full. And now when I blow over it, it makes a sound. Everybody knows that. And now if I pour out this water, dyed water here, so now it's empty, and now it's much lower. And basically it's the same effect on the ukulele. And also the length of the bottleneck actually has an impact. But yeah, for the ukuleles, it's really hard to determine, because yeah, it's not really a length, it's like the thickness of the sound port. But also the thicker it is, the longer like the way is the air has to move, and therefore the lower the resonance will be, because it takes longer for the air to flow in and out, because it's a longer way. Yeah, that's the way I kind of think about it. Okay, now for this baritone ukulele, I'm gonna play some notes, and then I'm gonna also measure the notes and see the response, and measure the Helmholtz resonance. Basically you tap on it, and then you can read the resonances, and this will give you like a nice indicator on how the different notes and resonances of the guitar, so the main body resonance, the Helmholtz resonance, first and second top resonances, how they kind of develop and change, because they all will change slightly when I work on the sound port. And I'm also going to use just my mic from the DJI camera, so it's going to be like a very basic recording, but I think you will get the gist of it. And yeah, I'm using the regular low G tuning here because yeah, I like it much better. Despite being a baritone, I think the normal baritone ukulele basically sounds like a bad acoustic guitar or a bad like nylon string guitar, and I really like the much brighter sound. Okay, and now let's take some measurements. So to measure the resonance, I'm using this app on my smartphone. It's called Spectroid, and it's free. And yeah, the way it works is that you kind of press on play. And yeah, I have to stop talking while it's recording. And yeah, you can see these different peaks here. And here is the lowest peak, which is always the Helmholtz resonance. So it's at 226. And the first is like the top, main top resonance. It's 243. And yeah, next one would be 420 maybe. And yeah, there's another one. There are like some small ones here, but they are not like the main resonances. And yeah, we are basically looking for the Helmholtz and the first top resonance, because these two are adjacent, and so the effect will mostly be visible on the first main top resonance. Next, what I want to measure is like the open strings. And here what we can see is there at the low G string there's like this pulsing going on, like it's going up and down and up and down a little bit. Yeah, I also have it on the E string, and the D string is a little bit weak, but yeah, let's measure them individually. Cool. Okay, when we stop here, we see like at the low G and the C string, yeah, this kind of bouncing happening, and I think it's caused by yeah, the top not being able to vibrate freely, because this exchange isn't happening fast enough. So I expect these to kind of change to be like more continuous, but yeah, we will see. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Don't have any more to remove anyway. It would look bad. And I also, yeah, I want to kind of work this a little bit. So I think the nice rounding here makes it easier for the air to flow in and out, which should also increase the main resonance. Okay, so now the main top resonance moved up 20 Hertz. about. And the second main resonance, I think it has been 240, now it's 250 maybe, so it moved up as well a little bit. And yeah, I think this is enough, and I also like how it looks now. Kind of goes more like over there, and makes it more look like it's one piece, kind of flows more. And yeah, I will work it out a little bit more so that I can still have like this nice highlight line, but make it more smooth. So I don't want to have any sharp edges, but yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, now let's see what we got. And now the Helmholtz resonance is at 140, so increase of 20 Hertz. And the first top main resonance is 250 maybe, so increase of like 10 Hertz. And to explain a little bit what happens is I have like this contraption here, and these bolts here, there are the resonances. So let's say this is the air cavity resonance, so the sound hole resonance. This is the first top and the second top resonance. And if you increase the air cavity resonance, you can see the first resonance of the top is also moving up, and the second is barely changing. And if you lower it, it's the other way around. So always the adjacent resonances, they are gonna affect each other. And actually it would be correct if the springs would like push, because these resonances, they push against each other. But yeah, it's also working with these pulling springs, but that's basically what happens. And now let's see about the open strings. Okay, so the bass string and the A string still pretty strong, and the other two, yeah, it seems like the C string it's now kind of interacting with the resonance. So I think I moved the top main resonance closer to like the C, which now is like impeded a little bit. So you can see the strings or notes that are closer to one of the main resonances. Yeah, it's kind of they have lower sustain because the top is kind of vibrating a lot at these frequencies and kind of eating up the energy quite fast. So what it gives you is like a nice attack on the note, but yeah, the decay is also much faster. So yeah, it's really hard to kind of tell with these kind of measurements how the sound changes, but yeah, it's at least some data point we can measure. And from my subjective opinion, I think it got markedly louder, and yeah, I think it was still a good choice to do. And yeah, let's play some notes, and maybe you can tell me if you hear a difference. Okay, so here's the result. I think yeah, it looks much better now. It looks much more appropriate to the size of the ukulele, And subjectively, I think it got a bit louder. You need to know that about 30% of the sound is coming from the sound port. So if you completely close it off, yeah, it's about a third less volume. And yeah, I designed these sound ports so they kind of direct at the player, so that you can hear yourself better playing. And yeah, let me play again some simple notes, and maybe you can tell me if you hear a difference. Alright, so that's it about the sound port. Yeah, as I said, I am going to do a video like specific on sound ports, and also yeah, the design of the sound port also matters, like actually the circumference of the sound port. I will show you that the longer the better. And I will show you a study from violins actually, which found that the F-holes developed over time to have a longer circumference, which surprisingly to me improved the sound. So the longer the circumference, the better it turns out. And yeah, so I'm also planning to do more guitars with a sound port that's going like this, and maybe even just the sound hole itself, just on the side here. I think it looks really nice and fits to my guitars. And yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and see you next time.